All right. So you mentioned when I talked to you before about a family vacation that was ruined by Uno.
Yes.
That you wanted to talk about?
Yes. That question, I was thinking about it and I was like, I think that's always a story. Give us a little insight into my family, into myself. Yeah. So how old was I at this point? I think I was either 13. I was between the ages of 12 and 14. I feel like I was 12 or 13. Anyways. And so my family, we don't really go on vacations. Like that was never something we did. We didn't if we were going on vacations, we were just like seeing family in Texas. And so it was very, very rare that we went. And so I was 12, 13 or 14, can't remember which age. And we were going to go to Destin, Florida. We were going to go to the beach. Okay. A nice fancy beach.
Was this a road trip or a flight?
This was a road trip.
Okay.
So tensions are already high. And so we drove to Destin, Florida. It was like, there's multiple things. It was beautiful to be together as a family.
Okay.
There's multiple things that were just kind of going wrong. And then we were all sitting with each other around the table, and we decided we were going to play this Uno game. My family is very competitive. And we also, I think everybody has a very strong sense of justice.
Okay.
And so we're playing this Uno game, and there ended up being this conspiracy that one of my siblings was cheating. And I also started to lose in this game of Uno. And so I don't know what it was, but the tension just hit on whatever was there. And I mean, it exploded. Like everybody just lost their minds and
over an Uno game.
Over an Uno game, yes. And you know, it became resolved at some point, but I mean, the night ended, everybody like in their own room, in their own space. It was quite the event.
It was a family crisis.
A little bit of a family crisis, I guess you could say.
And then you said something about a rabies vaccination.
Oh gosh, I can't believe these are the stories that I told you. Yeah. My rabies vaccination. I always feel like that's kind of my fun fact. Usually when people, you go around in a circle and you have to say a fun fact, I'll be like, I've had the rabies vaccine. Not many people have had the rabies vaccine. I'm saying that. Have you had the rabies vaccine,
I
Rudy?
don't believe I've had the rabies vaccine.
Yeah. So I was a sophomore in college, and I love to run. I was on a run, and I was running back into my complex, and there was this girl walking with her dog, and whoever's dog that was. And I was like, oh, cute dog. And so what you should do when you're running past a dog is slow down.
Okay. I didn't know that.
And not hold out your hand to the dog.
Okay.
Usually that's not what you should do, I guess. So, but that is what I did. Is I continued to jog past the dog. I thought it was really cute. I was going down to kind of pet him as I was running by. Okay. And I guess I scared that dog, and it bit me in the side. Okay.
Oh boy.
And so in the moment I was like in shock, like he bit me, and I was like, like I didn't even realize what happened. And the girl was like, what? Are you okay? And I was like, yeah. And I was like right outside my apartment or my townhouse at that point. And so I just kind of like ran inside, and then I was like, I like looked down, and I was like bleeding so bad.
Wow.
And so I was like, I just got bit by a dog. And so I was like calling my mom. I was calling my grandma who like works with dogs. Like I was like, I don't know what to do.
The dog didn't have its shots.
Well, so the dog did not have a collar. That was the issue. This girl was walking with the dog and didn't have his collar. And so that was like a little suspicious. And actually I was pretty like calm. Like I was like, the girl was with it though. Like probably there's no way that it, didn't have his shots or anything. But when I called my mom, she is my mom. And so she was like, you are going to die. She was terrified, right? I mean, she was very, very nervous. And then my grandma was kind of like, it'd be better to get the vaccine than to, I don't know, die with like foam coming out of my mouth or something.
I learned recently about rabies is once you start having symptoms,
you're done.
It's too late.
It's too late. Yeah. It's too late, it's very scary to think about.
Do you have a scar or anything?
I do have a scar. And that night was just absolutely. So I had my bite. I went to go get a tetanus shot, and then I remember like sitting in that like my roommate had taken me to the ER, and I'm just like sitting in there after I get like the tetanus shot first. And then they come in and they're like, okay, well, animal control is going to be here in just a second. I'm like, what? I have to talk to animal control? And then come to find out, animal control was going to like go after this dog.
Wow.
And then if they found it, this is like, I never knew this is what happens when you get bit by like an animal that's possibly domesticated. So they were like, we're going to find the dog and we're going to stick it in like puppy jail, essentially. Okay. Like quarantine for 14 days, basically watching this dog to see if it shows
if it exhibits
signs
any
of rabies. So I was like, oh my gosh. They're like, yeah, we're just going to camp outside your complex and like see if we see anything. I was like, I can't believe it. And so for like weeks, I would be like walking, like getting off the bus, like walking into my complex and like see all of these animal control people in my complex being like, I mean, like, so it was anyways. So, and then eventually I got this letter being like, we couldn't find the dog. We recommend that you get the vaccine. And you think it's just like, well, one, not most hospitals. That's not true. There are select hospitals that actually have the rabies. Carry the rabies vaccine. And it is not a one and done kind of thing.
Apparently it's a series of shots.
It is
right?
a series of shots. I can do shots.
Do they still stick it in your stomach?
They stick it everywhere. I mean, I think it was 8 shots. And then they were everywhere, like including like the bite area. It was very intense. And then after you do, so that's the initial about 8 shots. You do about 8 shots in the initial treatment. And then you have to go back to keep receiving the shots for, I don't remember how long that was, but for a couple weeks, you have to keep going back to only the hospitals that have the rabies vaccine. So,
and did this happen in Round Rock or did this happen in A&M?
It happened to A&M.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah. So if you ever think you need help dealing with an animal that might be rabid.
So if you're running, don't stick your hand out.
Yes.
Don't keep running.
Yes.
You're supposed to slow down.
I would say slow. I did. What did take me a while on my runs. Like I definitely was a little bit more nervous around. I love dogs, but I was like a little bit more nervous around them for a little bit. Definitely.
So do you do things like that all the time? Like wave flags in front of bulls and stuff?
So. I just like to test the waters, living on the edge.
Is there anything else? Fun facts that you'd like to share about yourself?
I don't know.
Your parents, you said your dad's Hispanic and then your mom is
German.
Sure. Do you speak any of those languages? Nope.
Like I said, we're kind of just white. we're kind of just American. No, I do feel like at St. Faustina, I've had the opportunity especially with actually the particular girls, the group of girls that do the pranks. There's a lot, most of them are Spanish speakers. And I feel like I've had like a mini immersion. They've really been like working with me, pushing me in my Spanish. So I'm learning.
You're
slowly.
Like, you've got the last name.
I mean, I have to. Yes, exactly. Maybe one day I'll be able to say my last name correctly.
Well, you can say it however you want. It's your name.
It's my name. That's right.